How's it going, everybody? This is Eddie and welcome to a tutorial we got going on here for Blender 3D about using Blender for a YouTube or a Twitter, or probably would definitely work for some other pages, but I've only done it for those two, a background in Blender. And basically the issue that we're trying to tackle here is when you have the bar in the middle of the screen, so that has the content. So, you know, it's like how on a YouTube channel, if you look on the background, you can really only see the edges because the video and the channel information is all in the middle. Same thing on Twitter, the feed is in the middle and all the tweets, and the side is what you actually get to see. So it's kind of hard to decide where you draw that line, and so I am going to show you now. So you start up Blender. It's going to look something like this. You're going to want to press N, and it'll bring up this toolbar here on the side. You want to look down here on Display. So click Display and expand it, and scroll down. I'm sorry, wrong. Background Images. Expand that one and check it, and then do Add Image. And then you're going to want to go onto Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer if you use that, or Safari. And you're going to want to Google Twitter template, or Twitter background template, or YouTube background template. And you're going to get a picture that looks like a basic YouTube background, and there's going to be like black squares where all the content on the YouTube page would go. And you're going to just download that, and I put mine on my desktop. So then I'm going to go over here to, I would show you that process, but my screen recorder doesn't pick up my browser page. So then you're going to want to come down here, and you're going to want to set axis to camera, and I'll talk about what that means in a minute. Make sure it's set to image, and then click the open button, and I'm going to navigate to my desktop, which is where I put it, and it's called New YouTube Layout Template. And then I'm going to leave all the settings at default for now. Now I'm going to go view from camera, and you will see here that we have the YouTube bar at the top, and then the YouTube bar down here, or in the YouTube content area right here, right? So this is overlaying on, when we view through the camera, it's overlaying that image on it. So since your images in Blender are rendered from the point of view of the camera, this is, you know, what it would be right now. So if we rendered out an image, right now it's just a cube, we could see that beforehand that anything that's in the white square right now is going to be covered up. So we could set the opacity to 1, and then click front. Well, I guess we don't want to set the opacity to 1, but we could press front just for reference, so just to make it a little bit more clear potentially. And then also you have different options. You have crop, fit, and stretch. Now so stretch just kind of stretches the image, of course, so that it fits in the camera, so it matches the image is a bit distorted right now, so that it'll be the same dimensions as the camera. And fit just shrinks the image until it's all inside the view of the camera. And crop just fills the entire camera up with the image. And we don't really want any of these. We want to see the image as it is. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to you're not going to see this. My screen recorder is not going to pick it up, but you're going to navigate to your image again. And let me find mine, 1 second, sorry, and then right click it if you're on Windows. I'm pretty sure if you're on Mac too, and go to Get Info or Properties or something along those lines. And then if you're on Windows, maybe you want to go over to the Details tab, and basically what you're looking for is the resolution of the picture, or the dimensions. And you're gonna then so mine, I can see here, it's 2400 by 1490. So then we're going to come back over here to Blender, and we're going to go over here on the right, and you're going to want to make sure you're under the Render tab up here, and you're going to have Dimensions. You want to have that expanded, and you're going to 2400 for me, and oh crap, I forget what the other one was. 1490. 1490. And then you see the slider bar, it's by default at 50. You want that to be at 100 just so that it matches the same resolution. So now if we render this image, this is the size of the image of the template. So this is exactly correct now. So the next thing we want to do to make it simple is to get the camera looking at a straight on angle of what we're doing. So if I just, you know, we're not going to go over any Blender stuff now, you have to learn that on your own. But if I just get a quick sphere-ish thing going and maybe grab the front of it and make it pointed, maybe this is like a bird, right? Something like that. Maybe make it smooth, add a subdivision surface, right? Perhaps it's a bird. Get you buying that? Now I could spend all day making sure that I got a good looking bird, but I won't, because then we'd be here all day. But right. So if I'm, you know, modeling this now, oops. So if I'm modeling this now, right, we probably want it to be head on or straight on, or, you know, some sort of a view that's more controllable than the default top angle view like this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to select to the camera and we're going to press Alt and G. Then we're going to press, which clears the location of the camera. So it's going to basically bring it back to the center of the scene. Then if you press Alt and R, it will clear the rotation and leave it pointing straight down. Next we're going to press G and Y to grab the camera along the Y axis and drag it out so it's in front of our object. And then R and then X, which will rotate the camera along the X axis, and we're going to type in 90, so it'll go exactly 90 degrees. So now we have our camera straight on, and we can sort of modify it to our liking. And one way that I like to do that is when you're doing small changes to the camera is to go into the camera view and then, why is it not working? Well, where'd the camera go? Where's the camera? Did I hide it by accident? I hid it by accident, sorry. So if you go into the camera view, and then if it's not selected, you can right click on the border of the camera so that it becomes orange, and then you can press G and Z and R and X and just kind of look through the camera as you move it. So we can pose the bird head so it's right like that, and then we can maybe drag out a new screen, which is kind of a confusing concept in Blender, so maybe you want to look that up somewhere else if you don't know how to do that already. But so what I'm doing is I'm moving it here on the right side and then checking my movements over there on the left. So you can see that I've moved it there. And you know, like I said, I'm not going over Blender stuff here, so you model whatever you want out of this image of the resolution, and it should fit perfectly. One thing you can do for reference, if you want, this might help some people. Is to grab a cube, scale it up, and scale it out to, well, actually let me reset that camera changes that we made, and then drag that over there, and then put this right head on. So now that camera is straight on again, and then this cube, I've created this cube here that blocks out basically everything that will be seen. So then you can kind of use that as a reference of don't have anything intersecting this cube, but of course that's mostly covered and it's not intersecting the cube, so you can't exactly go by that because the perspective angle of the camera. But I don't know, maybe if you went like this or something, I don't know. Hold on. Yeah, but you get the point. So the point is that you line up your template in the background there, and then you go by that, but you have to make sure that you set your resolution of your image to be the same resolution, have the same dimensions as your template, or else the template's going to be off. And then you just set it. You mess around with your settings on Twitter or Facebook to match the settings of, or so that it centers itself correctly and doesn't tile over itself too much or something. And then that's that. So that's how. At the time of recording, I have the current one. It's kind of like a grid pattern floor with like some colored spotlights pointing around on it. And that was done using this technique. That it's a really simple one, but if you have like a complex scene and you want to know exactly where to put the camera so it'll match up correctly, load this up and then position your camera so that the parts of your complex scene or complex model that you have modeled out is visible on either side of the zone in the center. And I could get away with doing one image for both YouTube and Twitter because the one that I have is kind of uniformly detailed. It's not like there's not one particular part that I want to be visible. But depending on size, I feel like Twitter's is opaque, opaque, is that what I'm looking? It's transparent, sorry. Well, I guess opaque would work too. So it's opaque in certain areas and transparent in others. Like you can see through the screen, so they're going to be different, I believe. So, but that's about it. Very simple Blender tutorial. Hope it is helpful. I want to start doing a few more Blender tutorials because I've been using it for many years now. But I'm good at Blender, I'm not good at animation, so it's kind of like I do amateur work, but I'm kind of I would consider myself a bit of a pro with the software, but it's the actual techniques and tricks of the trade that I don't know anything about. So, fortunately, that's too bad. But thank you for watching, and let me know what you think, and maybe give some requests of tutorials. If you do requests of some simple stuff, I will probably be able to do that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.